All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Taking a look at NASDAQ this morning, pretty uneventful overnight session. Got NQ just keeping with the recent theme. It's been just a drift higher. And now, past couple of trading days, bumping into this resistance zone right through here. Seeing a lot of churn, a lot of low volume. I expect that this pivot highlighted in red right through here will be resolved at some point during this week with FOMC here on Wednesday. You got the contract roll as well. We have jolts tomorrow, and I think PPI on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check that really quick. Yeah, PPI Thursday. So FOMC Wednesday, PPI Thursday. And then the following week we have CPI. So should be a decent couple of weeks before Christmas and the New Year, when things will really slow down quite a bit. So basically consider these next 2 weeks the last two trading weeks of the year. Definitely would not suggest trading the week of Christmas. Let's try and make the most of it. Continue to stay disciplined, respect our rules, stay within our framework. For today, really what I want to see is how price continues to respond to this area of resistance 25,820. So level of interest. Really, I'm considering this 820 by 900, just considering a zone, an 80-point resistance zone. Last week's high, which is also prior day high, is right through there at, what was that, 870-ish or so. So our seller's going to continue to show up and attempt to defend this area. Are we finally gonna break it? For positioning, I'll either be looking at some action above 820 in the overnight high with market structure and or the prior day high. Or if we start to see a little bit of a pullback off the open, a little bit of weakness, I'll be looking into this zone right through here and then down into here for some potential reversal plays, maybe a spring. But the game plan this morning continues to focus on longs, just in alignment with near-term trend higher. Near-term trend is higher. Pretty much every single dip has been absorbed. Let's take a look at ES really quick. ES has a pretty similar structure. I want to see this higher time frame fib. Yeah, so ES is already through that 78%. NQ just barely testing that 78%. I think on Friday that was. Yeah, right through the tick. You can see that 78% fib retracement right through there. That was Friday's high to the tick. So let's see what we get today. It's Monday. Not much on the economic calendar and FOMC this week. So what is the expectation for the day? The expectation is for some slowness, but as always, if price wants to prove us wrong on that expectation, that would be welcomed. But nonetheless, I like to come into these sessions with lower expectations, being more critical of the setups that materialize, making sure they're actually going to be within our framework, A plus opportunities, and not something that is just driven out of boredom or FOMO or just wanting to put some points on the board. $820 to 900 is quite the chunk of a zone, tough to set risk. Yeah, agree with you there, 100%. Yeah, it's always tough when you have kind of a trend move bumping into some major pivot. Typically, you'll need some catalyst to resolve that, which we have coming up. FOMC. Mr. Powell should be able to give us something. Got about 4 minutes till the open. Overnight volume pretty light. Extended hours volume point of control is at 795. Let's take a look at RTY. We got a couple minutes. RTY, not far off all-time highs here. This is still, for the most part, this is still just a multi-year sideways range, really. The weekly. And 2 minutes till the open. Job today is just to look for our A+ opportunity. Set risk accordingly. Manage risk accordingly. Respect your playbook. Respect your rules. Treat your trading like a professional would, if you don't already. All right, here comes that open. Do I just sit here and wait for my bot to trade, or am I taking actual trades? This is a live trading stream. Discretionary trading. Sitting here and watching an automation trade would kind of defeat the purpose, if you ask me. That was not the goal with the automation. NASDAQ into 822. How's Auto Trader doing? Green November. Check the November recap. NQ into overnight high. So this is the interesting area. Let's see if we get a break above and then an entry. Wanted it at 1K and missed it. It was never 1K. Strong open here. And then your prior day high looks like 868. Volume's decent off the open. NASDAQ, definitely some divergence from ES. ES is weak right off the open. RTY weak right off the open. And just shy of prior day high now. Coming back into 820. So a little rejection near prior day high. And if we see a bigger failure here, given the weakness in ES, more than likely we'll be waiting for that 730 area to trade. ES just pounding the lows. Well, we had some decent volume there right off the open. That's already faded. S&P ES just sitting on prior day volume point of control. NQ looks like a failure here. We'll see in the next minute or two. So really beneath 830, no real interest until you see that complete gap fill down into 720-ish, where Friday's volume point of control sits. All that prior day structure. Get the wick on that 15. Still has 6 minutes. Hey, Superstar, great to hear, man. Keep it up. Love to hear that. Am I waiting for a long entry? Yes. Always waiting for a long entry. Look at the volume, though. Already 50% of average. Their session volume point of control and VWAP. Not somewhere I'm setting risk against this morning. Just an observation. I either want action above this area right through here, or I'll watch the reaction if we have some sort of reversal down into there. It's the plan for right now. What's up, Ray? Got the overnight high short. Nice work, man. Yeah, this is like we talked about, massive area of resistance. Check the 15-minute. ES certainly not helping NASDAQ's case here. New low of day, NQ, and ES is coming into overnight low. Well, uptick in volume right now. Okay. So the low gets swept. Now this is the area. See that area be cleared. ES swept overnight low. And here your 15-minute is about to close. I like that volume. Patience, Gabe. Day just started. Barely 15 minutes in. Yes, sir, Ray. Save that. Save that capital. Speaking the truth. So NQ getting back into session lows. There's your new low of day. Now let's see if that gap fills. Not far off now. I don't consider that a true gap because it's still open within the prior day's range. Well, it's a small gap nonetheless. Monday open, Friday close, coming right up. So pretty much watching prior day volume point of control down into overnight low. We'll see if there's any sort of spring setup. Meanwhile, ES is coming into prior day low. Don't tell me that's the bounce. Was not prepared for that. Dang, that may have been it. That may have been it right there. I like the volume that came in there. Okay, we'll see if we can get lower. Preferred the overnight low, although I did have prior day volume point of control in my plan this morning. Might be a little higher low in the making. We'll see. No position. RTY is bouncing. ES. Just looking at the 2-minute, looks like it's just churning there near overnight low. And we're about 6 minutes till 10 a.m. Just kind of watching structural development here as we get into 10 a.m. If you remember from Friday, this was all the chop zone on Friday. So we have a lot of volume through there. It's kind of the idea behind the prior day volume point of control. Looks like there was a big earthquake in Japan. How's our profile looking? Meh, uneventful. Yeah, 30-minute closure in 3 minutes. Yeah, GC just caught a big bid. For the GC traders. Yeah, pretty much the entire thing was absorbed there on GC. It's right back to where it was. Must have been some little news blip. NQ, look at the volume. So we had an isolated 3XR vol as price tested prior day volume point of control, and now we're back below average. The Monday before an FOMC. Yeah, jolts tomorrow. PPI Thursday. 30-minute candle is going to close bearish. It looks like 30 seconds left on that thing. Okay, there's 10 a.m. Volume still below average. And NQ just near the weekly open and prior day volume point of control. 5-minute RTH shows just a retest of Friday's structure, that chop zone. And as far as a higher time frame structure update, it's another rejection of this key area of resistance here on your 4-hour. We've been talking about it for past week or so, past week and a half. Turn it into 4-hour. I use whatever time frame is relevant to the structure. So if that's the 4-hour, then heck yeah, all over it. A little bit of a lift there on NASDAQ. Some buyers defending that prior day volume point of control again. I like the idea there, but volume's a little bit of a concern for me right now. Rich, all the hours including happy hour? Yes, sir. That's right. And so there's a little intraday level building out right here. You can kind of see, what is that, 780? Yeah, 780. Okay. Making a mental note. See if regular trading hours volume point of control shifted lower. Not quite. Maybe in another minute or two. See extended. Needs to hold above 25,800. Current price is 770. D-Wall, what's up, man? Where you been? Where you been, D-Wall? Holidays? Oh, I gotcha. Fair enough. Well, welcome back. Gold absolutely puking now. Five minutes, starting to show some barcode. 20 minutes of overlapping. There's your session volume point of control shifting lower for RTH. Almost perfectly aligned with prior day value area high. So not a lot to do right here, if you ask me. At least for my playbook. Ideally, I'd like to see a break above 780 that can show 820, 820, 830 area. Nice, D-Wall. Heck yeah. Well earned. Well earned, sir. Well earned. And Q has done nothing since open. Yeah, it's slow Monday so far. Fairly typical for a Monday, though, especially before FOMC, right? Staying patient right now. Five-minute showing some barcode. Yeah, absolutely. ES pretty steady, trending lower. New low of day on ES. RTY sitting on the lows. All good, Gabe. It's part of the game, man. That's key right there. Gabe says, I know myself, so I'd rather just call it here and come back with a cool head tomorrow. That is an important skill set right there. Props to you. The self-awareness. So important in trading. NQ still just holding pattern. Consolidation nation. ES is approaching prior day low. RTY has just marked a fresh low on the day. And NQ just sitting here on Friday's volume point of control. What's the current low? Like 725? 722. Session lows on approach. New low of day, NQ. Keep switching in prediction markets. Oh man, you're something else. Yeah, at least you're not gambling in the market. If you can keep it to what is that called? Poly market. That's better. That's better than slapping up NQ. ES, a potential spring at the prior day low in the works. I'd like to see NQ at that overnight low. Almost 1 hour into the sesh. How's everyone's morning so far? So far, there's been nothing to do on my end. Nothing to do. Two green trades. Oh yeah, I think you mentioned the ES and GC short, if I remember correct. Nasdaq very slight low of day there. It's like drift lower, drift lower. All right, let's see this overnight low coming up 25,700. So I like to see if there's any interest at overnight low. See if there's any sort of spring setup here. There's your overnight low being tested. Looking at 25, 715 area. And nope, nada so far. A little uptick in volume's good to see. Oh, and there's a new low day. So no spring. We look at 675 level of interest. Trying to see if buyers are gonna step in at any point. If there's gonna be a true trend lower. Near-term bullish trend still intact. Start to see a failure of 500 and that structure is going to definitely come into question. That's still quite a bit lower though. There's a level of interest 675 and then prior day low not too far off that 650 it looks like. Yeah, 25 650. There's all that resistance from last week. No interest there at all at 675. Selling starting to accelerate a bit. And we got the prior day low coming up 650. Good volume coming in. All right, all right. Fresh 30-minute bar getting started in 2 minutes. A little bit of a bounce. Little bit. Just a little bit. There's a retest of 700. Those double zero can usually, sometimes, not usually, sometimes act as psychological levels. Your overnight lows right through there as well. So far it's a little bounce from the 675 level of interest. Let's see if we can show some follow through. 720 would be amazing. The previous low right through there. And what are we looking at as far as Fib retrace. Okay, that's already the shallow. That was quick. 705 is the shallow. Yeah, I want to see some follow through above overnight low. First trade of the morning. I'm already trailing 685. See if they give that push. Then I'll trim some off at 720. Actually, more like 718, kind of front run the 720 a little bit, but 2 points, whatever. Make it trailed right here to the tick. Trails 685.75. Ooh, Ray trailed. I barely held on to that. There it is. There it is. Okay. So I'll look again, prior day low area. 5 minutes shows a hammer. Yes, still interested. Still interested in this area. We'll see if we get another entry. It's a decent attempt, if you ask me. Didn't amount to much, but fresh 30-minute bar just opened. 5 minutes shows a hammer. If the 5 minute can show some follow through, yeah, mid trail down a tad tight. We'll see here. Ray, nice re-entry. Still watching. Yeah, this would have been initial target zone. Trim some off. See if another entry materializes. Staying patient right now. Had the scalp off the low. I trailed tight because I thought it was going to show a spring at the prior day low, which was actually for me, the preferred setup. D-Wall, you got that? Nice, man. Nice work. Nice work, Ray. That was a solid re-entry, man. Re-entry made the trade there. Well done. Well done. Well done. So we'll see how overnight lows treated again. 700 area. Yeah, trail was tight for sure. My trail, anyway. Can't speak for anyone else. Kind of your 5-minute RTH showing the current structure at play here. Ray, 70% of daily goal. Nice work, man. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Let's go. This volume, 50%. Just eyeballing it. Back in an overnight low, 700 area. Be happy with what you have, not what you missed. Well said, Mr. Ray. Well said, well said. Yeah, FOMO is a killer. FOMO is an absolute killer. Only took 3 years to be able to say that? Yeah, man. Takes a while. Takes the self-mastery aspect of trading. Takes a while. All right, Ray. Nice work today, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Probably fixing to call it here shortly as well. See you in 5 minutes. I got to run some errands after I hop off the stream, so won't be on the desk. So NQ, kind of watching 700 here, watching this intraday structure. Volumes just note the bounce earlier. What we had right there. Good market participation. 2 to 3x R vol makes a difference. That audience really helps. Cool to see price roll over right here where I had that line. I was just highlighting the previous bounce spot intraday as a target. That's why market structure is undefeated. Gotta love it. So a little bounce from D-Wall's 685. Nice call, D-Wall, if you're still out there. I like to see action above 700 personally. Otherwise, I'll be looking at prior day low spring. If it materializes, or just call it a day, call it a morning. It's about 90 minutes into the sesh. How's everyone's day? Doing all right? Rick, no trade. All good. All good. Cash is a position. Got to remember that. ES showing a little bit of churn near 6865 level of interest. Prior day low right in that area. RTY just sitting on session lows. And we have jolts tomorrow. Is that 10 a.m.? I think that's 10 a.m. Is that a 10 a.m.er? 10 a.m. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. So we'll see if that gives us some action. some volatility. Yeah, Jolt's 10 a.m. And then, of course, the big one this week is FOMC on Wednesday. Always fun. Got PPI Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Today, as far as higher time frame structure, we see a rejection versus the resistance zone near 800. Been talking about that for the past week or so. Big pivot up in this area. Another test this morning during the regular trading hour session. Now a rejection. Daily bar showing some exhaustion as well. See if NQ wants the prior day low here. The next few minutes, otherwise I'm going to call it. The PDL. Get the volume though. My goodness. All right, NASDAQ coming into the lows. As we get into 11 a.m. as well. What time frame are you using? I use multiple time frame analysis, but the current chart is a 1 minute. 1 minute on the screen. Almost a new low of day right there. Couple points for NASDAQ. 4 minutes till 11. So prior day low fails. I mean, it really opens up here. I would be looking at 25,500 monthly open as a reference point in between Bell 584. But as far as structural levels, higher time frame structure levels, 25,500 is your downside level. NQ, this ends up just being a lower high, that bounce. So your intraday structure is a trend lower as we get into 11 a.m. D-Wall 635 last hope. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of right there with you. Prior day low, I would say. PDL. Close enough to your six. What do you have at 635? Structure or what? Oh, you're probably looking at Thursday's close, huh? Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I hear you. All right. Very slight uptick in volume. Nothing like what we saw earlier. And look, look at the 30-minute, just straight down. So you got some isolated pops within that with good location. But other than that, that's a trend lower day. Yeah, no follow throughout prior day low. Just bumps right into 675. Sellers are right there. All right, folks. I think that's a wrap. Slow morning, typical FOMC week Monday here. We've got jolts tomorrow at 10 a.m. Not a major catalyst, but can be market moving. So we'll be watching that live on stream. And then FOMC Wednesday. D-Wall 11 a.m. bounce? Could be. Could be. I won't be around for it. I got a jet. Gotta run some errands here. Hope you guys had a good morning. Thank you for your time today. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.